Hey everybody! In today's video I'm going to be glazing some resin pieces with clear spray paint. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I even demo it in a few of my other videos, and I've gotten some questions about it because it can be a little bit hard to master, especially if you have not worked with spray paint before. So this video is going to be solely dedicated to that. So what I have here is some resin pieces that I had made, and they're black so we can really see what's going on, and you can see they're matte, and by the time we're done spraying them and all that, they're going to have a nice glossy shiny finish. So what we're going to need is our resin pieces, of course, and I suggest if you practice this, don't use something you really care about. Just practice on stuff that doesn't matter to you, or even random objects like glass bottles or rocks or whatever. So we're going to need our pieces. I'm using, this is like a cake cooling rack that I got at the dollar store. There was like 2 of them for $1 or something like that. They're real reasonable. And then we're going to need spray paint. I really like Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear Enamel. You can use other stuff. Krylon and Rust-Oleum make like lacquers and other kind of things like that. And some of them I just don't really like the consistency. They have a tendency to feel like tacky, or like you can dent them. And with this stuff, it's hard. It's a nice thin layer. I prefer this, but you can experiment with whatever. I'm going to be using gloves, and when using spray paint, it's always a good idea to use a respirator. Here is mine. So I'll leave the link for all of this stuff in the description box below. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is shake up our spray paint real good. Usually about 20 or 30 seconds is good to really ensure that it's mixed up. I've already been mixing it off camera, so this is about good to go. So these 2 are succulent pieces that I made from a succulent mold, of course. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray one the way I usually would, and then I'm going to spray one what I would call the wrong way. And I'll explain why after we do it. But so I have my pieces all set up. Now with spray paint, you want to get far away. You don't want to get right up on the piece. I'm probably about, I'd say about 12 inches away. I'm outside. This is also super relevant. You never want to spray paint inside. Make sure you're outside. I'm in my garage right now. So I'm going to start with, well actually I'm going to do the first one. I'm going to get super close up to it. All right. Okay, see, I've gotten super close up to it, and it's just like flooded it. There's a bunch in there. I can pour it out. It's just too much. You don't want to get too close to it. Getting farther away is best. Although that one might actually dry okay regardless. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one. And I'm gonna stay farther away, like I said, and I'm gonna hit the sides first. I'm actually gonna walk around it. All right, and then I'm gonna come up in the top. There we go. Okay. Sometimes they'll get little tiny air bubbles. It's just part of it. You can see them a lot worse because it's on a black surface. If it's on a clear one, it's not so bad. But yeah, sometimes it's just gonna happen. That's the way it is. Maybe taking a heat gun or something like that to it would help. I don't know. So we have our other one. I'm gonna put that aside. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to this cute little jewel key thing. And it's gonna be the same technique. I'm gonna get about 12 inches away and just dust it. There we go. Now I'm going to leave that one to dry as well. So now I'm going to move on to the last 2 pieces. I've honestly noticed that the smoother the surface, the harder it is to get a good result. Like these kind of like awkward shaped ones tend to do a lot better. It's hard to get these just right, but we're going to do it anyways. I'm going to go around the sides. Okay, so you can see with these ones, there's some bubbles happening. It's not completely perfect. We can come back in later and spray it again so we can add up a few layers. With this one, it's kind of crazy. I saw that the resin had a few bubbles in it anyways, like it didn't make really good contact with the mold, so like those were air bubbles, and I kind of think that that's what's going on there. Yeah, I'm just gonna smooth that out with my gloved finger, and then I'll come back later and add another layer. So we're gonna let these dry a little bit, and then we'll come back and check them out and spray them again if we need to. Okay, so they've been drying for a few minutes. This is what they're looking like after that first pass, and I realize it's hard to see because they're black, but you get the basic idea. Okay, so with them, I've noticed that the sides need a lot more. So now I'm gonna go through individually and spray them one more time. So I'm gonna go in and really hit the sides. And then I'm gonna hit the top again. Okay, now I'm gonna put that one aside and move on to another. So I'm gonna do the key. And same with that one, it needs more on the sides, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, now I'm gonna do the heart. Oh, it's sticking to me. And same, I'm gonna hit the sides. All right. And I feel like I'm not 12 inches away. I feel like I'm getting closer to maybe 9 when I do this. So just experiment. See how that works for you. Now that one I totally flooded because I got too close. I don't really recommend doing that. I should not have done it. Just take that as a what not to do. So we're gonna let these dry, we're gonna come back and we're gonna check out the final product here in a few minutes. And it doesn't take long. Usually by about 15 minutes, they're completely dry. Okay, so they're all dried and we can go ahead and check them out. Here is one of the succulents that we did. And you can see the sides and the top. And I do realize that it's a little bit hard for the camera to pick up. I just wanted to use a really extreme example so you could really see what was going on here and the difference between the matte and the glazed pieces. So here's the other succulent piece. There's the side. All right. Here's the heart. And like I said, the smoother the surface, the harder it seems to be to get like a perfect finish, but I'm pretty happy with that. And if it was clear and there was stuff going on underneath it, or if it was a lighter color, it wouldn't be as obvious. Any imperfections would not be as obvious. So like I said, just we're going for extremes with the black. So here's the key. Looks good. And here's this piece I went all crazy town on and just sprayed a lot. It's not bad, even though I like drowned it in the spray paint like that. You could still see the bubbles from before, but they were in it. They were already a part of the piece. Yeah, so I mean, it's not bad. You lose some of the detail because of the thickness of the paint, but it's not bad. Yeah, so these still smell like spray paint, and they will for a few days. I feel like that might be a question or concern. Is it gonna smell chemically? Is it gonna smell like paint? When it's fully dried, it will not. I have pieces that I've sprayed and you would never ever tell. You just have to give them a few days to fully dry out and to lose that smell. And if you have trouble, if you do this and you have trouble trying it, just practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's really all it's gonna take, is getting used to that can, getting used to the paint flying out of the can the way it does, figuring out how far to get. You can do it, you just have to practice. So I guess that concludes everything that I wanted to do in this video. If you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing and all those things that go with YouTube. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment box below. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.